And then it spills over like that into the spillway because the inflation and everything else that we did. It went over the valley and it looked like Barlow Point.
All right. Thank you for coming. All right. Thanks for coming to our fall community meeting. If you don't know, we do these twice a year. We are the Maple Leaf Community Council. There's a couple board members and volunteers in the room. And we organize this to bring you information about the neighborhood, things that are happening, businesses that are in the neighborhood as well. As you've seen on the slides, it's been a pretty great year. We've started our first silent book club, thanks to Michelle. We had 7 great events, and we have one this Sunday, which I will be finally attending. We had 4,000 neighbors come out to all of our events this summer. We had 3 big movies in the park with food trucks, beer garden. We had a summer social where we had ice cream and a bunch of businesses that came out. And as you saw, we are now distributing over 4,000 leaflets to... Yeah, I can talk louder. Thank you. We are delivering now 4,300 leaflets to all of the houses in Maple Leaf. We are working on getting into the apartments and condos and other buildings, but we are, thank you. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, it's a little echo, yeah. So thank you for all the people in the room that do deliver. I see a couple of you. Thank you for continuing to do that. And all of that stuff happens because of memberships that are done by neighbors like you. For as little as $40 a year, we're able to do all of these events at no cost to anything else. None of us are paid. It's all donations. Only 5% of the neighbors are active members, and we are hoping to raise that next year up to 10%. So if you're not a member, consider becoming one. Help us get that goal. Our board's also grown, and we have over 40 volunteers across all of our committees. I know there's a couple in here, so if you guys could raise your hands real quick, and we can get a round of applause for the people that give their time. We're currently looking for a few more roles. We do need a treasurer. You do not need to be a CPA or anything like that. You just need to know how to kind of work around QuickBooks and want to do that. It's just a couple hours a month. And it is one of the things that keeps us a 501c3. So that is high on our priorities. We are also looking for a couple people to help Michelle organize the book clubs each month, as well as a couple other things. Those are all on our website that you can find. So with that, I will pass it off to Stefan.
This is going to cut out at the beginning. But I talk through it. I talk through it. Okay. Is this easy to hear? Is this okay? I'll talk authoritatively. I am Stefan. I am the events chairman. So that means the summer social, the upcoming Halloween parade, and then also in association with the movie nights. So this year's summer social was a great success. We've had tons of kids and families come out. Tons of ice cream has been given away. We're up to 30, I think we have 38 organizations come to the summer social. So, and that's, I'm not sure what percentage are nonprofits, but maybe a third or so. Looking at ways we could maybe even incorporate more entities that want to participate with it. So, and unfortunately this year, the fire truck was even supposed to come. They pulled up and then got an emergency call and never came back. So it sounds like it was a real emergency they went to. So that's okay. For the movies, if you guys have seen any of the pictures, social media stuff, I mean, we've had hundreds of people at all 3 nights for that, which was awesome. But coming up on the 25th is the Halloween parade. We switched the route on that a couple years ago, so it starts and ends at the park. And I think that change was well received because we had, I think, 800 people 2 years ago and like 500 to 600 last year. And that was also with pretty crummy weather. So fingers crossed, sunshine again on the 25th. But with that, what we are looking for is We've noticed with this new route, some people get lost, which is okay. It's not like they go somewhere bad, but it would be nice if we had some people that were willing to stand on some corners and help direct people of like, hey, parade turns this way. So I know this is a big challenge. If you were physically able to do this and smile at the same time, you're qualified. So we would love to have you participate if you could. And we also have 2 spots where we actually cross Roosevelt. So if you want something a little more technical and work on a crosswalk and then do this and still smile, you're also qualified for that position. That being said, with all of the events, we always could use more volunteers and more help. So if you feel a calling for that, that would be very well received. Also, going forward, we do need, I am, as of now, the only events chairman, and we really would love to have another 1 or 2 people. I mean, we'll take 1 more. We'll take 2 more. We have a new one coming, and she's going to be awesome, but I'll still take 2 more. If someone else wants to join. And also what we are looking for next year is someone to be the actual summer social chairman themselves. Michelle is amazing. And for the last 2 years, she and I have been in charge of it. We have a whole template of how it can be put together. But if you think it could be better, step on up. We would love your help. There's always ways it can be tweaked and improved. So lots of fun events coming up, and we want to keep doing them, and we would love any extra volunteers and help. So I think that covers all of the topics. Ooh, a question. Yes. There's not a what? So, nope, all good. 3 o'clock on the 25th at Maple Leaf Park. Events start at 3 o'clock. The parade will start at 3:30. And when does it end? As late as we want. Well, probably 5. So, yeah. Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much. Go Mariners.
Is Rainwise here?
All right. Yep.
Already?
Here we go. And it does cut out at the very beginning. You can just keep talking and it'll pick you up.
Okay, I'm gonna stand over here. I haven't ever done a presentation with cards before, so bear with me. So thanks for having me here tonight. My name's Jenny Hines. I'm with Sustainable Ballard, and I'm here to talk to you all about Rainwise rebate program. Rainwise is a joint project of King County Wastewater Treatment Division and Seattle Public Utilities, and it pays rebates to people for having rain gardens and cisterns installed on their property. Sustainable Ballard is at a grant, has been working on this, publicizing it since 2012. And we have a grant with King County to do that. Did I miss anything? Nope, that's it. Okay, next slide. So tonight I'm going to talk about why Rainwise is so important, what the problem is with our stormwater. Then a solution to that problem is Rainwise, rain gardens and cisterns. And then I'll walk through the Rainwise process a little bit, the steps to getting Rainwise real quick. And then talk about how you guys as community members can help. And we'll have a little time for questions at the end. Next. So Seattle today looks very different than a century ago. There are a lot more impermeable surfaces or non-porous surfaces here because of development. And that means that rather than being processed by trees and soil, are processed by All right. Sorry. It's weird hearing yourself over there. Getting used to it. Okay, so impermeable surface means the water runs off and goes into the sound and the local waterways. What else? Oh, yeah, so it goes into stormwater pipes now, and those pipes and our whole drainage system is really antiquated. So that causes what we'll see on the next slide. That our system really can't handle all of the runoff from those impervious surfaces. So when there's a heavy rain, in most of Seattle, the sewage and stormwater combines into those pipes and runs. If there's too much to be handled by this the storm, what is it called? Yeah. Well, to be handled by the treatment plant, then all the extra runs out just directly into the sound with the sewage mixed in. So our systems get overwhelmed. So the overflows help the water not back up into your house or businesses, but but we're trying to do better and actually reduce the amount of overflows. Next. So reducing toxic runoff helps with environmental, economic, and health problems. For instance, in 2024, nearly 2 million gallons of polluted stormwater ran into our sewer system or into our sound and waterways. And that's actually an improvement. In 2022, it was 131 million gallons of stormwater polluted runoff. So, Rainwise and other green stormwater infrastructure projects have reduced that amount. And I'll talk about green stormwater infrastructure in a little bit here. Next. Department of Ecology found that the polluted runoff is the #1 source of toxic pollution in Seattle waters. So next one. Excess and toxic runoff has multiple detrimental effects. Destroys salmon runs, contaminates seafood, increases flooding. There are economic costs, significant ones, that are a threat to the local economy. It affects public health and the natural beauty of the area. Next. So Seattle Public Utilities and King County made a commitment to manage 700 million gallons of stormwater runoff by 2025, and we have succeeded. That goal was met, so now we're aiming higher to expand the green stormwater infrastructure to protect against that last 20 million gallons of overflow. So the solution is green stormwater infrastructure, and this picture is a bioswale or a roadside rain garden. So rain gardens use plants, trees, soil, and a collection system to slow and treat rain and keep it from becoming polluted runoff. Bringing nature into the built environment helps urban areas work more like the forest photo we saw earlier. And other GSI includes green roofs, permeable pavement, depaving, and of course rain gardens and cisterns. And there's a lot more information about other GSI on the rainwise.seattle.gov website. Next. So community members, our neighbors, can also be part of the solution. Property owners have a huge potential to reduce runoff managing rain that falls on their property. And Rainwise can help with rebates covering up to 100% of the cost of installing those when you use a Rainwise trained contractor to install your rain gardens and cisterns. Next. So quickly want to show you how these help. Whoops. I lost my place. Okay. So this is the rain garden. It's a bowl-shaped landscape feature with spongy soil that absorbs water and holds it and then lets it trickle into the aquifer rather than running off into the roads. And is there more about that? So yeah, it also treats the water. Next. And a cistern is used to collect water worldwide, but Rainwise cisterns also slow the slow the water that gets out into the roadway or into the sewer system because it has a low flow valve. That's the next slide. So the low flow valve is key. It reduces the amount of water that runs out of the cistern to about 1 gallon an hour. So it really holds the water back until the heavy rain has passed. Okay. So now you've seen the problem, and next slide. And how Rainwise helps with that. So let's talk about the 5 steps to getting Rainwise. First is to check your eligibility. So that would be done on the Rainwise website, rainwise.seattle.gov. And this is a screenshot. You just pop your address in there and it'll let you know what, if anything, you're eligible for. It could be rain gardens and cisterns or just cisterns. And then it'll give you links and resources for next steps. Next. If you are eligible, you would next thing you would do is look for a contractor to come out and see what's feasible and covered by the rebate. And we're also available to help. We do pre-consults where we do like a Zoom meeting with you to make sure your property has the features that make it look like it's eligible, as well as we can provide contractor matchmaking. So find a contractor that seems like it'll fit you after you fill out a little questionnaire. Next. Once you choose the contractor, they come out for a consultation and they'll measure your roof to determine what the rebate amount would be. They'll discuss the layout, do an infiltration test if you are interested in a rain garden and eligible for it. And then they would review the process and next steps to move forward. And then the next step is actually having the contractor do the work. You sign a contract with them. They arrange for a pre-inspection, which is the utilities coming out and making sure the engineering that they've designed is what will work on the site. Then they do the installation. They have a post-inspection, and that assures that everything is done to spec. And then the contractor also helps you submit the paperwork for the rebate and gives you some maintenance tips. And then finally, you would, after you get your paperwork submitted, the rebate would come in 6 to 8 weeks. The average rebate is about 85% of the cost, but as I said before, it could be covered by up to 100%, especially if it's a really straightforward installation. It might be taxable, and it needs to be maintained for 5 years according to your contract with the city. And you have to notify them if you sell it, so they have contact for the new people who have to continue that maintenance for the 5 years. So how can you help as reps for community groups? We hope you'll be excited to help us spread the word about this. We'd love to reach your group. Our workshops are like a 45 to 60-minute version of this little presentation, which includes a homeowner show and tell and 2 or 3 contractors coming out and then giving their being able to talk to you specifically about your project. So it's a really good workshop. The another option would be to share information about this on social media. We have some events coming up. I'm going to pass around a postcard. We have a workshop tomorrow and a webinar next Thursday. I can also share this short PowerPoint or a version like this that you could share with your group yourself. And you can reach me at rain@sustainableballard. Oh, that's the next slide. And this is the whole workshop. Or Jenny@sustainableballard.org. Or you can reach the utilities at rainwise@seattle.gov. I understand we have a few minutes for questions. If anyone has any? Yeah. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, so they've identified the high priority areas of the city where the most outflows happen. So that's the first, is that they created these basins in different sections of the city that all feed into one overflow pipe. And those are the worst offenders. And then after that, it's like if you have too much of a slope or your soil doesn't percolate, then that can cause you not to be eligible as well. Things like that. Maple Leaf up to about 85th. Yeah, north of 85th is, they haven't opened any basins north of 85th yet. Well, a little bit. There's some little bumps up, but mostly it's about 85th. Yeah. Yeah.
What can make your soil
Percolate.
Because, I mean, something happens in the soil here in the summertime. It's like it becomes hydrophobic. You put water on it, and it just runs right off. So oddly enough, like if you want to water your garden here in the summertime, the best time to do it is after a light rain, because that wets the soil. And then if you put your hose on it, the water will actually sink into the soil instead of run off.
Yeah.
So what do they do to make the soil percolate better?
In the Rainwise program, they're looking at soil like 6 feet down, and whether you've got clay or something that's not going to percolate past that. So they do the percolation test, and if it doesn't drain within 24 hours, like I think it's 2 feet of water doesn't drain within 24 hours, then you're just not eligible. And I don't know personally about making your soil percolate except adding sand. So I know.
That's the problem. If I had it to do over, I bought the place
Right.
in 84, and if I had it to do over again, I'd have like 10 cubic yards of clay delivered and just dumped on the
Yeah.
place. I would shovel it into the soil every time I plant something.
Right.
And I know people have done that elsewhere.
Yeah. One more question, if anyone has one? All right. I got one more slide. Follow us on socials. Thank you.
All right. Thank you again, Jenny. Appreciate you coming out from Rainwise. Next up, we have Luan joining us from Mojito Community Foundation.
So Mojito Community Foundation, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be here. I've been in this neighborhood for 25 years. Um, Even though Mojito Community Foundation started this year, I've been working with King County Housing Authority, Mercy Housing, YMCA, Housing Authority, and then as a kid, I was part of SYP, which is a Summer Youth Employment Program. Um, and so for me, I realized that I ran when I was living in Ballinger Homes, which is King County Housing Authority. I ran to a lot of low-income seniors who receive income, so they don't qualify for low income. So they fall right on that gap. Um, and so we decided to just join the University Food Bank. We've been doing meals for them for the last 3, 4 years now, Mondays and Tuesdays. On Mondays, we took over Apple Cafe a day, and we make hot meals on Mondays, and then on Tuesdays we make prepackaged meals, and it goes to satellite pantries, and it goes to North Seattle College. It goes to um, we teamed up with YMCA, and it goes to different housings for people who cannot come and get their food. It goes to different pantries also. Um, it's not a charity. What we're doing is more trying to get food with dignity. I'm refugee. I spent 4.5 years in Greece. I'm originally from East Africa, and as a kid, I used to go to different churches and collect food for the family as a kid, and so it's just as a everybody deserves to get a warm meal with dignity. As you guys know, that right now there's a lot of shortage for the food banks. AI, everybody's using AI now, and less waste for the food banks. So that means they're not getting food. We work with Cedar Grove. We try to recover food that's going to go to compost, and we try to recover that food and share it with different food banks. Um, but yeah, this has been part of Mojito's. Uh, uh, I've been doing it for so long that when the foundation opened, I just felt like we just made it, with board members and uh, pretty much a typical foundation. But I knew there was something wrong when every time I do the wedding or event, there's so much waste in food, and the food banks are short of food. So it didn't make sense to me to throw all this food away. So, um, and to do something where uh, that is love and is comfort. And right now we live in a world where everybody's divided with politics, religion, and for me, I just chose to stay into what I experienced and what happened to me, and just return the favor. Beside that, the other thing I want to say is that if anybody wants to volunteer on Thanksgiving or Mondays and Tuesdays, for the last 15, 16 years, we feed about 6,000 people. We cook 70, 80 turkeys for Christmas and also for Thanksgiving. So if you guys want to volunteer and be part of the neighborhood and be part of the change and be the change, and it's a fulfilling thing for you guys, and also I want to be example for other restaurants to that we can always team up with and become even more stronger, because my experience is a school teacher will call me and be like, hey, we need the food for 80 people, and what's your budget? $200. And I can't say no to that teacher, so one way or another I make it happen. But if a bunch of restaurants contribute together, and you make the rice, I make the beans, and it becomes more a light lifting for everybody. um, but beside that, it's been I've been lucky to never change lanes in 25 years I've been in this neighborhood. And you know I've seen people in my life that constantly support me and allow me to be my new location. Mojito, the new location was I privately raised money through 7 mentors and friends to buy the building, and there's people that believe in me to continue to do what I do, and that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing, it's not just me doing it. It's just people um, investing in me to go ahead and continue what I'm doing, and doing it in a a local, sustainable way for many years to come. So thank you for public speaking is not my thing, but I'm also learning that I need to be out there and be part of this uncomfortable thing. So I was that kid in high school that it was anything we had to do with speaking, I skipped the class. So, but thank you for Carrie for allowing me to be here. And if you guys have any questions, please. Yeah, great.
You work with city fruit, market cleaning, giving gardeners, any of those programs that collect excess produce from people's gardens and the farmers market?
I work with Cedar Grove, and the Cedar Grove is a compost, but as you know, compost has become a business, right? And so what I do is that I went to visit the facility, and if Costco or somebody rejects the pallets of lettuce or pineapple, what I do is that I go get the pallet and I distribute it with the different food banks. Same thing with the cruise ships when they come to town. It's pallet of eggs, a pallet of hamburger meat, and if I don't take that food, you know what happens for insurance reasons, they dump it. So I got sometimes I feel like I'm doing a drug deal on the side in the alley, like I'm getting a pallet. Just the cruise ship has been out there for 7 days, and I guess if you put your eye into it, there's so much waste out there that you understand that.
If people want to help at Thanksgiving or other volunteer opportunities, how do they contact you? Is there something on the website or?
Yeah, we're gonna put something on a Mojito Instagram page, but I work 7 days a week, pretty much morning to night. You could come see me, and we'll sign you up. We'll give you a particular job, and it's a not only that we make the food, but we shred the turkeys, and we go to a buddy's place in downtown, and we set up the food and chafing dishes, and then we do have like 3-4 party buses that we have people prepackage the meals, and what they do is that we send them to different housings, so those people get food also. So anybody else? Okay.
All right. Raise your hand if you're going to volunteer. Contribute in some way? Yeah. Thank you again, Luam. Appreciate it. I have the pleasure, I believe, next in chatting a little bit about our community silent book club. So the Silent Book Club was founded 7 months ago. We've had 7 meetups since the founding. I do have some photos here of our last meetup, which was outdoors at the park. It was beautiful. It was sunny. Then it got cold. So thank you to anybody who did come and join us for that. Our Silent Book Club is moving for our next round of meetups. We are going to be at Watershed Pub and Kitchen. They have graciously volunteered to let us use their upper mezzanine section. And our next meetup is this Sunday. So we'd love to see many of you there. If you're not familiar with what Silent Book Club is, it's a community of readers who come together into a shared space and you read whatever you want. There's no assigned book. There's no assigned reading. If you want to come and listen to an audiobook, great. Everything is welcome at this venue. We mingle for the first 30 minutes. You can sit silently if you don't want to mingle. We typically try to buy a drink or some food from the venue that is hosting us. And then we start our 1-hour silent reading, where we all just sit together and enjoy whatever we're reading. It's all ages, so please bring your little ones. I bring both my sons. They tolerate it, but it's a good habit. It's a good habit to get your kids into, so I highly recommend bringing them. And we are always looking for additional volunteers, co-hosts. If you know of a venue that would like to host a pop-up, we do have the recurring every third Sunday at Watershed. We're not opposed to having additional pop-ups, though, for our Silent Book Club. So we'd love to see you there. Any questions on Silent Book Club?
What are you reading?
What am I reading right now? That is an excellent question. The book that I'm currently in the middle of is The Art of Raising a Puppy. And that is because we have an 11-week-old puppy. And so I need the monks to teach me how to do that right. Excellent question. Great. Well, I hope to see you all at Watershed this Sunday. If not this Sunday, then either on the 16th or the 21st. Again, we may have some pop-ups. Question?
You're looking for volunteers. What really goes into volunteering or helping run it?
Yeah, so running a Silent Book Club meetup is seriously very easy. I show up about 15 minutes before the start. I would give you our lending library. So we do have a small box of books that folks can borrow if they either forget their book, maybe they decide they hate the book that they brought and they want something different. There's a lot of different genres in there. And so it's just setting that up, setting up a sign-in sheet and answering any questions that folks have about the venue itself. It's super easy, I promise. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Up next, we have Ethan, who's going to speak with us a little bit about our zoning workshops that have been going strong in the neighborhood.
Thank you very much. I think we got your Sunday planned out for you, so we'll get to that in a minute. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the zoning workshops, what we're doing. We've had, gosh, I've lost count at this point, but I'm going to guess we've had close to a dozen different workshops. If you've been to one of the zoning workshops, will you raise your hand, please? Okay, wow, this is a lot. This is great. This is great. I'm glad we have like half the audience. So tonight I'd like to talk about what we know so far about zoning changes, and it's not going to be exhaustive. I'm just going to touch on it, and then talk a little bit about where we'd like to go, and then we are doing okay on time, I think. So we will do a little taste of workshopping right here this very evening, and then we will give you your Sunday agenda. Okay, next slide. So a little bit about what we know so far about zoning changes, and I'm really glad I have people in the room more knowledgeable than me about these. It began with state level House Bill 1110, which was about middle housing, requiring larger cities to allow increased density to deal with affordability of homes in those areas. It removes the stipulation for a single family house on its own lot, which is to say anyone who owns what had been designated as a single family lot can now build 4 and in some cases 6 units on that lot anywhere in that city. It's important to know there's no eminent domain involved with that. The city isn't asking, it's telling us we have to build 4 units on our lot. It's just giving anybody who owns that lot or has just bought that lot the option to build 4 and up to 6 under certain conditions units on that lot. We've probably all seen those around the neighborhood. So that bill went into effect and the city had to adopt at least a skeletal version of it, which they did. But now the city council has recently adopted an amended One Seattle plan, which conforms to HB 1110 and includes additional stipulations for mixed use, affordability, additional infrastructure, and tree protections, along with what's required by HB 1110. Maple Leaf, as part of that One Seattle plan, Maple Leaf is now designated as a neighborhood center. And what that means is from about 91st down to 85th, from 8th over to 12th, we could see building heights rise to up to 50 feet. So that's things like that new apartment building that is right next to Cloud City Coffee, kind of across from, there's a natural health center there. That's the kind of thing we're possibly looking at. Does that make sense? Okay, is there anything, folks who have been at those workshops, is there any major details I've left out here that are important to know about what we know so far? Wow, I'm seeing Ansel say I did a good job. That's quite something. Okay, yes, absolutely.
So with this neighborhood change, how does that affect parking? Because like, you know, I know like where Mojito, but where Mojito's was, there's across the street from there, they're building like a 57-unit apartment complex with 14 parking spaces can put all this pressure on the neighborhood. Is that incorporated into this, or how is that?
Yeah, there's a transportation section in the common plan.
Oh, there is, okay.
I'm not 100% aware of how that. But the idea is like parking and housing, which is the main problem. Yeah, so if you like, you designate a neighborhood center, you more alternative modes of transportation. Okay. In theory, over the long term, so. And there will be, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the pieces that got Maple Leaf the neighborhood center designation, was that transportation corridor, the number 67 bus on Roosevelt.
I know at one point, the neighborhood, one of the biggest bits of feedback people were giving were they need a request to step it back as it approached 8th and 12th, so that it wouldn't be right on 12th or 8th, 50 feet tall, that it would gradually drop down to be respectful of the residential nature of the rest of the neighborhood. Did any of that get incorporated?
That I know of, no.
Some
Yeah.
of us are pushing for that to go up further out too. So, it's the zoning, if you don't mind.
Please.
Jumping in. The conversations that we're having are really sort of everybody bringing their own opinions and kind of talking them through, and then presenting some opinions out to some of the community councils. And things like that. So there's people who have the opinion that it should be lower, like smaller or non-existent as a neighborhood center, and there's people that have the opinion that we should expand it. And so it goes discussion. The zoning forum is a place to like talk those things out. Basically.
Yeah, part of the rhythm that we've fallen into at the zoning workshops is having a little bit of a, what do we know so far? What has changed since last time we met? Just so we're a little bit on the same page. I saw your hand.
So, I mean, I heard that it's supposed to be like a transportation corridor, which then assumes people wouldn't be driving their car, which isn't accurate. I mean, it's inaccurate. And so right now, there's not enough parking on my street to begin with. Is there any parking requirements, period, for these huge things that we're gonna build in the?
So there was within the comp plan meetings, there was an amendment put forward to eliminate parking requirements throughout the whole city.
That's insane.
And that got voted down. So, but they're not adding more parking. This is just me going to the city council meetings and things like that.
So you're saying there's no parking requirement?
They're not requiring more parking for new housing.
Any parking?
Maybe I'm not being clear. They're not requiring more than they already do require for projects, as far as I know. But again, I'm referring back to.
Yeah. And a lot of this stuff, if you are, this is a great plug for the workshops themselves. A lot of this stuff gets hashed out in the workshops. And so, and a lot of, some of what we do is we leave, we research, we come back. So if you're interested in some of these details, which we can't tell you off the bat right now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we'd love to see you at a workshop where we can start hashing this through. Saw a hand here and then back there.
When you say from 8 to 12, does that mean both sides of 8 and both sides of 12? Or is that from the east side of 8 to the west side of 12?
Yeah, that means this side, from this side of 12th to that side of 8th. Did that make sense? Yeah.
And so then the one on the, like on 8, on the west side, somebody couldn't build 4 places yet. They can build 3.
They can't. So my understanding, on this side of 8th, they can't build up to 50 feet. They could build 4 units because that's part of HB 1110, but they can't build up to 50 feet.
How many stories would that be?
5, roughly.
Well,
Yeah.
the reason I asked that was because there's a contractor that's gonna be building by our place, and he said he's gonna wait till next year when they're gonna allow him to build on a 5,000 or less foot lot.
Yeah.
And I'm going, you gotta be kidding me, 4
Yeah.
of that?
Yeah, we're seeing some of that, and I've seen 4 go up, 3 doors down from me, and right here on 96 too. Okay, yes.
And then, or do you just put height limits? I mean, so does that mean that lots that are currently single family, instead of, they could just be like an apartment building then?
Yeah,
Is that what's up?
within that zone. Yeah, we may see a tall apartment building, or I suppose you could see a really tall townhome, but that's one tall townhome. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We don't make decisions in the.
Yeah.
Like conversations, we're just talking about what's happening at the city level and talking about the whys of what they're doing. So,
Yeah.
but if you have questions about it, please come on Sunday and let's chat about it. in detail.
I told you we had your Sunday planned out for you. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure I'd go as far as committee, right? Because some people have come once, some people have come every single time. I haven't been every single time. And so it's something I make an effort each time to welcome new folks in and kind of help them understand where we've been. And we've fallen into a good rhythm of like information sharing, ideation, surfacing tensions that we might want to balance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We is a very loose term in the workshops. Yeah, I think that's.
Seattle already has, a lot of the way that we've done things since the 90s is sort of around the Maple Leaf Center model. So Maple Leaf has a core, so it's just expanding that. And, one of the positives of that is like hopefully someday getting a grocery store here or something like that, a place where people can come.
Yeah.
So, there-
I'm looking at like the visual of all the single family homes.
Yeah.
And then there's, Roosevelt, which is a little more still low for the most part. But like, what does that look like? So is it like single family home, all of a sudden there's the architectural
Yeah.
and then there's a.
Come on Sunday, I'll bring my laptop.
Yeah, I think, and that is the questions like that. That's what we workshop, right? Is where one of the early questions we asked was, there's what we can control, and that's on my lot, and there's what we can't control, and that's HB 1110, One Seattle Plan. Then there's what we can influence, and that's the zone we try to live in at the workshops. Great questions. Okay, we get to workshop right here, right now. So one of those, as we sort of have progressed in our work, we've asked more and more specific questions about what it is we're here to do. One of the early thoughts that came out of some of our planning is how might we encourage thoughtful development that takes the whole human being into account? Big, broad, difficult to answer question, right? How might we balance needs that are in tension, because that is very real? How might we find common ground is one that has emerged over time, and the kind of conversations that people who disagree are having are amazing to watch. And it's just, I love going to these things because the conversations are intense, respectful, and I just love being part of that process. The last one that has kind of bubbled up for us is how might we craft a shared vision for the neighborhood, which gets to some of that architectural character, which gets to transportation, which gets to accessibility, affordability, diversity. A lot of things are contained within that question. And so what we've embarked on just recently is to start to craft a survey that the whole neighborhood might take, where we get a real sense of what's on people's minds, what people are thinking about, and what's important about being a Maple Leafer. So let's do this. Over here, you will find Post-its pens, Post-its, pens, and on this far table by the door, you'll also find Post-its and pens. I love that I can walk around. Grab a small stack of Post-its and begin answering some of these questions. What do you like most about Maple Leaf? It's a nice light place to start if you want. What changes have you seen or heard about that might benefit your neighbors? With these changes, what are you concerned about losing? A little bit heavier. Then I have two more over here. What features would you like to see in new development? Development, generally speaking, it might be green space, it might be cottages, it might be, I don't know, right? What features might you like to see? Then this final one here, what are examples of increased density? What examples of increased density have you seen that work well? That might be another neighborhood in Seattle. That might be a city you visited. That might be somewhere overseas. But what we're looking for as we start to craft that shared vision is, what is it we're seeing that's working? What are some exemplars we can go toward? Cool? All right, this is the exercise time. It is not cheating to chat with your neighbors as you work. That is okay. All right, Post-its are over here, markers are here. Post-its and markers are over there right on the other side of those tables as well. Grab yourself a little stack of Post-its, choose your favorite color, and we'll take maybe 7 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, off. Okay. Good. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we can turn on the music. You're gonna need to talk? You're gonna need to talk loudly? No? Cool.
I figured after they're done with this, I'll just pop up and talk through the sponsors real quick, and then I'll do a plug for the next 3 events.
That's awesome. When are they expecting this to wrap up?
Huh?
When are we expecting this to wrap up?
I would love if it wrapped up in 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah, let's see, when did we get that to? I think we said wrap up at 7:20. But we handed off to them way ahead of schedule.
Yeah. We can give him a heads up when we want to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, are we on? Yeah. Okay, good, good, good. Take a little tour, this time reading what your neighbors wrote. Ask yourself, what commonalities am I seeing? What trends am I seeing? What am I seeing that surprises me? I'm very glad that we have some pictorial additions to our brainstorm. Very important. When you've had a chance to look around, come on back and find a seat. Okay, so I'd like to hear from a few folks perhaps about what did you notice that stood out to you? What are the trends and commonalities you noticed? What did you see you didn't think you were going to see that might have surprised you? You did say this was a workshop, right? Trees, I saw a lot of trees, both on what do you like most about Maple Leaf and what are you concerned about losing? We do talk a lot about trees in the workshops. Any other trends you noticed? Yeah.
Maybe there's fewer inputs there because we don't know what changes, like, or. So there might be a lot.
Okay. A lack of knowledge might be driving the sparseness of that. Okay, got it. Parking, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a real issue for sure. Okay, so what we'll do is, I'm getting really good at taking pictures of chart paper. That's what my entire, photo album looks like now is pictures of chart paper. So I'll take pictures of this before we go. We'll bring these back to the workshop on Sunday, use them as, material to start from, and input on what kinds of things might we need to know from the neighborhood in general that would help us get toward that shared vision for the neighborhood. We really see our work in the workshops as long term, right? We're not going to be able to come to a decision about, oh, well, the city should do this. And we go tell the city, and they're like, oh, you're right. Thanks very much. It really is a long process that has small projects, big projects, and building the consensus building a sense of common ground, building a sense of shared vision is really one of the big sort of deliverables, if you will, I'm thinking about out of these kinds of workshops. So your Sunday at 10 a.m., we'll see you at the Green Lake Library. Then at lunch, you'll head home and you'll check the eligibility of your house for a bioswale. And then at 3 o'clock, we'll see you at Watershed. And then at 5, dinner at Mojito. So there's your Sunday. Okay, any questions about the process? Transparency has been pretty important to us in this process, which is why we wanted to talk tonight, give you some examples of how we're working. So any questions about the workshop, the process, kind of the meta stuff? I can't have done that good a job explaining it. Yes.
I
Yeah.
have a question not
Yeah.
about the process and stuff though, but it's
Sure.
has anybody in any of the workshops brought up about solar panels and stuff like that? Because my husband and I were talking the other day, it's like, if they made every contractor or developer put solar powers on their buildings, any building they build, whether it be a one house or a big one, it could help the electrical grid if nothing else. It may
Yeah.
not help from water, but has anybody ever said anything about that?
That's a good question. I don't remember that we've talked about that a lot. It may have come up because we've done a lot of this kind of work. It may have come up for some of that. But yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And if you have a moment before you leave, I'd love to see that posted on the features you might be looking for. That second to last one there.
I just have one general comment.
Yeah.
For those people who are new to hearing about all of this, there are probably a few people in this room who probably have not known about a lot of this, or maybe just a little bit. I would encourage everybody to look into it a little bit on their own, and then start talking to your immediate neighbors about it. Because I have found that when I tell like people I work with, or just friends who don't live in the neighborhood, when I bring the topic of this up, almost no one I know in Seattle knows anything about this. And the city has done a fantastic job of keeping it very quiet, I would say, by design. So please make it a point to bring it up periodically with friends and neighbors, because I don't think enough people know this is happening. And it's going to roll in one day, and people are going to be pissed, and it's going to be too late to do anything about it. So I would encourage everybody to do a little research on Washington, the One Seattle plan at least, and and just talk about it more. So that's my thought.
Thank you. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Back to Michelle.
Thank you again, Ethan. And thank you to everybody who's been participating in the zoning workshops. That's a true community effort coming together to say, hey, there's a problem, there's something we don't understand, and there's an opportunity to lean on your neighbor to learn more about it and to make your voice heard. So we'll see you Sunday. Next up, I want to spend just a quick moment chatting about some of our members and sponsors who help make the Maple Leaf Community Council possible. On the left side here, you can see all of our MLCC business members. So these are folks who have a full business membership. They want to be part of the community. These are businesses you should patronize because they are supporting us. They are supporting all of the activities that we do as a community, and they are leaning in and representing. Similarly, those of you who get the leaflet delivered to your doorstep with wonderful stories about your neighbors, activities going on, also seeing advertisements, right, for local businesses. That's possible because of these leaflet sponsors. So again, if you see a business on there you haven't gone before, you want to give it a try, these are places that we highly recommend you reach out to because they are investing in the community that you are a part of. On the next page, I believe, yes, we have some of our sponsors. So Stefan gave us a review of all of the summer events and how successful they were. That was only possible because we had these sponsors who stepped up. You see, we've got a lot of summer social sponsors. I think you mentioned we had 38 tables this year. That was a new record for us. We think we can squeeze in a couple more next year, so that list might get a little bit longer. And then our Movies at the Tower sponsors, these were really big investments some of these groups gave. The Movies at the Tower is not a small investment to get the rights to those movies, to secure the space, to get all of the volunteers that you need to run a full inflated movie screen, a beer garden for the second year in a row. So again, these are just places that I would encourage you to think about going to and think about becoming a customer, checking them out, promoting them, grab a cup of coffee there, do whatever suits your soul. But these are great places that are investing in the community. And to wrap up tonight, on our next slide, we have our next 3 events that are sponsored by the Community Council. So as mentioned, we'll see you all Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Green Lake Library for the Neighborhood Zoning Workshop. That afternoon, you can find us at Watershed Pub for Silent Book Club. And then on October 25th, we do hope to see you at the Halloween Costume Parade. That is going to start at Maple Leaf Park at 3 p.m. The parade itself will start at 3:30. So if you're running a little late, don't worry. There's plenty of time to jump into the parade. Costumes are encouraged. Pets in costumes are encouraged. You don't need to have a child. It's a fun event, even if you're a grown-up. And it does start and end at the park. So if you don't want to do the parade, you just want to see awesome costumes, you could stay right there the whole time. Seattle Jazz Academy, I think, is going to be there playing music for us. So it's going to be a good vibe. Cool. Thank you all so much for coming. Really appreciate it.